What do you think about? I know you're probably asking like, that's a broad question. But like, what do you think about? If you could really just like narrow down and just be like, yo, this is what I think about, what would that thing be? Obviously it's gonna be different for everybody. Like nobody's the exact same. Everybody's gonna have a different answer, but can you really dictate what you think about? No, I mean, it'll be kind of different. Like if you were just chilling with your friends or like you chilling with your boys or something like that, they ask you, hey, yo, like, what you think about? I'd be like, nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's probably something about my day, something like that. But like when you ask yourself that question, it's really hard to answer. If you've asked yourself that before, like in any situation given, like if you ask yourself, like, what am I thinking about? Like, it's really hard to answer it because it's coming from like yourself. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's really weird. It is. But what you think about from a day-to-day basis is what you become. You become what you think about. And this is something that I not too long ago realized, and it's been very, very helpful, and it was just like a wow factor. Like when I asked myself what I thought about and I actually I got my answer, I was like, wow. Like I actually just like, I sat back in my chair, like low-key, I was like, you feel me? Like, yeah, I was, it's crazy because you're not really gonna expect to kind of hear from yourself like what you're thinking about. Because okay, we can say nothing, like I said, we can maybe pull something out of the blue, like about like our day or something like that. But when you genuinely ask yourself what you think about, there's one of two answers that you're gonna give. It's gonna either be, I think about something that's positive, or I think about something that's negative. And it's so common. And I say this unfortunately, it's so common that a lot of people think about the negatives. And then they look around, and it's like, man, my outcomes are negative. My outcomes are matching what I think about. And it's like, it's kind of wild. You know what I mean? Because we can say, okay, like we're optimistic, like, you know what I'm saying? We're having a good day. You feel me? We're feeling good. But subconsciously and unconsciously, we end up thinking about things that aren't so good. And I mean, like, it's not a bad thing. I mean, like, it's not the greatest, but I mean, it's in our human nature. Like, it happens. It's something that we can control, but it's really hard to control when you're not able to really, like, dictate exactly what you're thinking about. You know what I mean? Maybe you were stressed about a test, or maybe you were stressed about bills coming in, or stressed about getting paid or something like that. And the day you're supposed to get paid, your check's delayed another day. You're like, oh, man, that test you got back, you're like, oh, man, I knew I failed that. You subconsciously put that energy towards the situation before it even happened. So when you do that, with how powerful our brains are, it's really hard for our situations to avoid what we think about. Does that make sense? So if you're constantly just worrying and stressing, it's just like, and you want something to change, it's going to be hard for things to change when you haven't changed the root of the issue. And like I said, this is something that I just learned not too long ago, but it's really a wow factor. It's kind of crazy. Like on the real, like it's crazy. Because we look around and like we hear it, like we know it for a fact. Our brains are one of the most powerful things on this earth. Like we're able to have human interactions because of our brain. Like we're able to do certain things, like everything that we do more or less is stemmed from the way that our brains are able to operate. But in this, realizing that if we don't have control over our brain and control of what we think about and control over our situations because of the things that we think about, we can easily be pointed to the fact of that our brains can be one of our biggest detriments. And it's wild, man. It's really crazy. Our brains can be a lot more dangerous than we see them out to be. Especially when you're not in control of the things you think about. If you really just let it like marinate in your mind a little bit, people that are successful, people that want to win, people that are mentors, multimillionaires, content creators, like business owners, if you think about it, you take time and you're like, what were they thinking about? Because I mean, like life be lifing. I mean, life's wind blows on all of us the same. Not singling anybody out. I mean, everybody's situation is different, but you have to factor in the fact that no multimillionaire was always a multimillionaire. No big business owner, no big corporation was always that big corporation. They started at base level. But one thing that they did master was the fact that they were able to control what they were thinking about, and in turn controlled their situations to come. And it's crazy. It's so crazy because sometimes we get in our minds, and our mind sometimes tells us that we can't do certain things. And it's like, wow, like my mind's telling me this, but you have to realize that you're in control of your mind, so you can be like, I can do this. I'm capable of doing this. It's not gonna be easy. I mean, obviously, I mean, like you kind of have to train at it, like you have to practice. I mean, this isn't something that's gonna happen overnight. I mean, nothing worth a great amount of good is gonna come overnight. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we do it to ourselves unintentionally. Like we'll be thinking about some just random stuff throughout our day. Like, man, like you maybe look at someone and you're like, oh man, like that's awesome. Like I wish I had that. Or like you see a certain trait in someone and not even realizing it, you shoot yourself down because you wish you had it, instead of developing your mind in a way and saying, I can do that. It's crazy. We become what we think about. And you also have to factor in the fact that you are some of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounding yourselves with like losers, people that are like drinking all the time, like smoking every day, like doing all this, hey, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not calling you a loser, but I'm saying you're gonna have to change your circle before you follow the footsteps of the people that you surround yourself with. The exact same vice versa for a winner. A person that's a winner is surrounded by winners. They have no other choice but to win. So if you tell yourself that you can do a certain thing, you can do it. Even though people around you may have limiting beliefs, I mean, that they don't control your belief in what stems from your brain. They might have influences. I mean, like that's obvious. I mean, like we go through life with a whole lot of influences, whether they be positive or negative. But for the ones that really stick to our brain, that's what's either been pushing us or holding us back this entire time. And it's wild to think about. It really is. It's something that you have to work at constantly. If you catch yourself thinking about something negative, you have to kind of nip it in the bud and be like, okay, nah, like we don't think like that anymore. And like I said, it's not going to be easy, man. I'm guilty of it. I mean, I'm still trying to work. I'm still doing my best at this thing. But we're getting there. We're getting better. And I'm super excited. But really ask yourself, what do I think about? And you'll get your answer. And depending on that answer, you'll be able to work and strive and grind towards that goal of being able to really master your mind. Because once you master your mind and you look yourself in the mirror and you commit to the process, even though, go ahead and forewarning, knowing that it's going to be an ugly process for the majority of the time, that is the time that you literally can change your life. And hey, forget it. Hey, change the lives of the people around you. When you're that person that takes that step out of their comfort zone and does something different so they can see something different and get something different, your life's gonna change. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not going to be easy. This isn't just a easy slope all the way down and you're at your goal. No, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. But you committing to the process is you committing to the bumps along the ride and along the journey. And then once you get there, that's when you look back and you're like, I did that. You are what you think about. So if you think about winning, you're gonna win. Vice versa, if you think about losing, unfortunately, you're likely to lose. But you're in control of your situation and the things you think about. So go into new situations. Go into the new day. Think about positivity. Even if it's small. I mean, like I said, this is something that is going to be baby steps at a time. But over time, you're going to be able to tell if you commit to the process of mastering your mind and filtering out all the negativity, whether it be from you or the people around you. Your life is going to change for the better. And I say this because it's happening to me. So, I'm going to leave y'all at that. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully y'all will take some good notes from this. It helps you guys, but it helped me a lot. And I know that it'll help you too. So, I'm out this thing. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.